toffee pudding under there.
Anyway, folks, welcome to the kitchen. I was just in the process of making something, and my daughter has decided to regale us with a story, although she's now eating a sticky toffee pudding, so it might be quite a multitasking gummy story. Go on then, what was it? What happened?
Okay, so basically I got chased by a dog while I was riding my bike back home from school.
Right. I wasn't actually going to film making this Pico de Gallo, but she wanted to tell this story, so I thought you lot might be interested in it. Go on, carry on, child.
Right. So basically, right, what happened was I was going through this housing estate, right? So it was right by the gate that separated this like factory place from the housing estate, right? And as I was going through on my bike, right?
Right.
I saw this dog, right?
Right.
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 Right. And it was like, I think it was like a bull terrier or like an English bulldog or something like. It was like a white thing with the pink bits on its mouth and the big eyes and stuff like that. It was cute and all. But basically, it didn't have a collar on, or I don't think it did. It definitely wasn't on a leash. But
put your dogs on a leash, folks.
But like, first of all, okay, that's all right because the owners were nearby. It was just like they were outside their house and in their car, right? And I thought, oh, that's all right. I suppose maybe it's well trained. Oh, how wrong was I? So basically, I was just gonna go past. I thought, oh, the dog will just hopefully stay out of the way. Again, it's wrong. So the dog came up to me and was like, "Ooh, yeah," and it didn't bark or anything. I think it barked like once or twice, but it mainly just started kind of sniffing and doing like the little play bow thing that they do, right?
Little what?
Play bow thing that they do. You know, when they have their butt sticking up in the air and their little.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard it called that before. Sorry, we're stopping for a sticky toffee pudding break. Just talk amongst yourselves for a minute.
Alright. So I didn't want to hit the dog, right, because it was running all around my bike.
Right.
So I stopped, right, and I was just staying. I wasn't like moving or anything because obviously it was it wanted to play. So of course I thought, well, if I don't move, then hopefully it will just get bored and go away.
Right.
And of course the people were like, oh, sorry, and it's like, oh, it's fine. And they were trying to lure this dog like back to them with I think it was a bit of ham, with like that wafer thin ham that you get.
So the dog was clearly well trained then.
Yeah, but then they were like
to be out without a lead. But
of course it was like they were saying, come on, come back. I can't remember his name. Let's just call it Bert for this. They're like, oh, come back, Bert, come on, come back. And like, so the dog was paying no attention to them.
Right.
But eventually, one of its owners, some guy, came over and was trying to like kind of herd it back towards their car.
Yeah.
Because of course we were out kind of in the road. There's the car, their driveway, and the car in their driveway, the pavement, and me on the road. It was a housing estate, so it was a relatively quiet road. So there was nobody else like kind of around, fortunately.
Yeah.
But basically, eventually, this dog, because there was like a little parking bay kind of bit on the other side of the road, so it just kind of ran off around there sort of, and I was like, oh, quick, I can get away from it. Of course, I cycled further down the road and across what's it called, around this bend in the road, and then I heard someone saying, no, come back. And I was like, is that dog? And I turned around, there was this blooming dog running up the road after me. So of course again I stopped because I didn't want to hit it, and it kept like running around in me again, and I was like, oh God's sake. So like I said, I just stopped and sort of waited there, and I did think maybe I should turn around and sort of lead it back because again I didn't want to hit it. So eventually this blue car came up from around the bend of court as well. And this person, a woman, got out and was, of course, the woman, she was still in her dressing gown. So, you can see how...
Clearly at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But then you never know, maybe she works nights.
Well, I guess. But, yeah, and she started trying to kind of get this dog to, like, get in the car. Of course, again, the dog absolutely no attention.
None of them thought to bring, like, a lead or anything, or a collar.
Because it's like, before that, when I was just sitting there waiting for them to come and get their dog, I was like, no, go away, go. And, like, you know, really shouting at it. Not like, but shouting at it to try and get it to go back to its owners. And, like I said, it was paying absolutely no attention whatsoever, in the slightest.
You know how I feel.
But, yeah, wait a second.
Oh, hang on, we're stopping for another sticky toffee pudding break.
Can't let it get cold.
Although, to be fair, she has had salad for her dinner, so... Ooh, what's that?
Anyway, that's not important.
I want to know what that is. What is that?
It's like a little...
There's a little bit of something. It's not
It's
one,
like
not one of your
bit of
teeth, is
fruit.
it? Or something? Oh, you didn't want those tomatoes, did you?
No, I didn't. You can have them. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Of course.
As you can see, we go through quite a lot of tomatoes in this house.
But basically, so that they came round with their car. She got out and was trying to get this dog to get in the car. And of course, from the other way came a white car driving down the road. Fortunately, they had obviously seen this dog and stopped as well. And eventually, this woman, well, I'm going to say this woman got the dog. But it ran down beside 2 houses. And so she sort of ran after it, and I thought, oh, quick, I'll get away this time. It's like madly up the road. And eventually I did get away. I don't know if they actually caught that dog. I hope so.
They're probably still around there chasing the dog right now.
I mean, yes, I did
There'll
get away.
There'll be a post on the local Facebook page saying, has anyone seen our dog? Last seen chasing a small child on a bicycle.
I'm not small.
Well, no, you're not small, are you?
But,
You're still,
yeah.
you'll always be small though, because you were the smallest.
The trouble is, I was thinking, of course, that dog should have been on a leash, because if I had been frightened of dogs,
Well, which wouldn't be the first time. I mean, I remember an incident in the woods many years ago when you were a small child, when I think you were about 4 or 5 or something like that, and we were walking through the woods, and a huge dog came bounding round the corner of the trail and charged at you, and you were absolutely terrified. Well, the dog was bigger than you were. It was like a blooming horse. And the people eventually came around the corner behind it, and they were like, oh, it's okay, it's friendly. And it's like, yeah, well, thank you for traumatising my daughter. Now perhaps you could put your dog on a lead like you're supposed to. Because it's one of these things that everybody says they have, you know, claims they have recall on their dogs and that, but a lot of the time, you know, obviously a dog has a mind of its own. And it's like where your mum works at the stables. On the estate there, they have, obviously they have livestock out in the fields, and they quite frequently get people walking their dogs in the fields with the livestock. And then the dogs, you know, charge off and start chasing the horses and that. And firstly, there's the fact that it upsets the horses. Secondly, there's the fact that if the horse kicks the dog, it will probably kill it. And more importantly than all that, landowners are perfectly within their rights to shoot dogs that are worrying livestock. So, and it's always amazing when people are in that situation. Oh, he's never done that before. And it's like, yeah, but it's a dog. So this is why you always have your dog on a lead when you're out and about. If you want to let your dog run loose, take it to a dog park. But anyway, we're not here to lecture people. So you escaped by the skin of your teeth then, child.
It was like, I wasn't scared, because I'm not really scared of dogs. I was just trying to get it to go away, but of course I was a little bit worried in case it did bite me.
Well, yeah.
I was quite prepared to kick it away.
Well, exactly. It's this is the problem when people don't have control of their dogs.
The dog because it's you know
It's a dog.
playing, you know, it doesn't really understand that it's not. But of course, I would rather kick a dog than have my legs bitten off. So.
Well, exactly. But there you go. So all's well that ends well, as far as we know, although we have no idea what happened to the dog.
It's like, yeah, of course. As I was saying, if I'd been scared of dogs, then, or if that car that came round, the other car, the white one, hadn't seen it.
Well, exactly. So, control your dogs, folks.
Moral of the story.
Get them training.
And on a lead.
And on a lead, yes, especially. And it's. Did you say it wasn't even wearing a collar?
No, I don't think it was even wearing a collar.
Wow.
Because it was like, and the guy came along and tried to kind of get it away, and I was wondering why he wasn't grabbing this collar, and I was like, it's not wearing a collar. Why is it not wearing a collar?
But there's also the thing, if the dog runs off and gets lost, they have no way of knowing who it belongs to. So, actually, on the subject of dog collars and dog tags and things like that, a slight tangent, but here's a tip for the parents out there. If you have small children, this is something we used to do with ours, because we used to go to a lot of events and things where there'd be thousands of people, and obviously there's always the concern that your kids might get lost. So what I did was I had dog tags made for the kids. There are companies on like eBay and places that do it, where they'll link. Yeah, not a sponsor. Well said, child. But they'll engrave anything on a dog tag for you. And so what I did was I had the child's names on one side, so you know, Katie for her one and Michael for the other one, and on the back it had mine and the missus' mobile numbers. And so the idea was, if the children ever got lost, all they needed to do was find somebody in a position of authority and show them the dog tag. So it's something that if you have small children, you might want to consider doing it, because it's a little added bit of peace of mind if you're going out with them. I know you can get like bracelets and things that you can that do the same thing, but this is might be a little bit cheaper, and also it's a bit less likely to get lost because it's around their neck.
I remember once when we did go to an event, and because I remember specifically having a dog tag, and I was sort of ahead of you and Mother, and I for some reason I started following this other family, and then I realised, and I was like, ah! But it was like you were 2 feet behind me.
No, I know, but it's easy done. And kids do get lost.
Terrified.
I mean, the worst thing I ever had. Here's a story for you, folks. We were in Toys R Us once, which no longer is with us. And again, I think you were, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old.
Probably.
And she ran off in the shop, and I was behind her, literally 2 feet behind her. And
I am speed.
Oh God, listen to the flash over here. And she ran round a corner, and I went round the corner, and she was gone. And I had no idea where she was. I couldn't find her anywhere in this shop, because the Toys R Us was quite a big shop, and I couldn't find her anywhere. And so I sort of shouted over to the missus, I can't find her. And the missus started laughing, and I was like, no, seriously, I have no idea where she is. So we're hunting around the shop trying to find her. Couldn't find her anywhere. Eventually, we're heading towards the exit, and a woman on the customer service desk said, are you looking for a child? And we're like, yes. And like, she's over there. Is that her? And this one had gone out because they had like a double door on the store. She'd gone out the first door and then been distracted by one of these Thomas the Tank Engine rides. And she was sitting on that. It wasn't doing anything, but she was just sitting on it. And the woman said, oh, I've been keeping an eye on her to make sure she didn't go out of the store. But God, that scared the life out of me.
I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, well, I think we put you on a leash after that. I know we used to do that with Michael. We had one of those backpacks with a leash on it because he used to run off as well. But still. So yes, keep an eye on your children, folks. And your dogs. And any other pets you might have. If you ever run a real laugh, try putting a collar on a cat. Or have you ever seen that thing where people put stuff on the back of a cat and it goes all flat?
Oh yeah.
Where they think it's quite funny. You can find them on anywhere, YouTube or anywhere. But what people do is they get like a bit of like fabric or something and just lay it on the back of the cat, and the cat will basically press itself down on the floor because it thinks it's underneath something, and they'll just basically snake along the floor with something on their back. That was. Do you remember that? You played Stray, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Because the thing when they first put the little jacket thing on the cat, it does the same thing.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the things that game did very well was simulating cat behaviour. But I might, if anyone's interested, I might put a Stray video on the gaming channel. If any of you are particularly interested in that kind of thing. What do we want? We want these. Can you get me a fork, please, child?
This one.
Oh God.
The one with 4 prongs, not a spoon. Ew.
What? Pickled jalapenos. You know what's good for you. Alright. Put a big bunch of them in. That might be enough. Might do a few more, we'll see.
My friend at school is doing food tech actually. She made some what were they were muffins or something today actually. And so I got to eat some. They were all right.
They were alright.
Well, I mean, they were all right. They were a bit dry, and I think they were a bit burnt actually. But
Well, this is the trouble with things like that, especially if you're not used to.
no, I think it was more the person she was working with actually, because apparently he decided, because the teacher had said that they had 10 minutes left of the lesson, and the bell went in like 2.
Right.
Of course, they had another lesson afterwards, so don't want to be late for that. So basically, but apparently, right at the end of the lesson, this person she was working with, he decided to drop the remainder of his batter on the floor.
Oh, that was clever.
And he was also apparently too scared to get the things out of the oven, the muffins out of the oven. So that's why they got a little bit burnt.
Well, minced garlic. Oh, that's probably way too much. Although technically you can never have too much garlic. What are you in about? You eat stuff with garlic in all the time.
I know, but I can't see it. Can't see it, can't hurt you.
Yeah, whatever.
Ooh, you got your electric thing.
Yeah. Electric pepper mill because I'm lazy. So I refer to this as Pico de Gallo, but it's kind of my own interpretation of it. Where are those? Come here. Oh. I mean, any. I apologise to any people of Latin persuasion watching this because you're probably cringing at this. Lime.
Put it under the camera. Cutting it under the camera.
Well, if you roll these like this, you see, it kind of gets all the juice loosened up before you...
Reduce it?
Yeah, before you cut it off. Alright, juice of half a lime. one great thing about pico de gallo is there's no actual real sort of recipe to it, because you just make it however you want. Anybody will tell you that their recipe is the best, because obviously, or their grandmother's recipe is the best, or whatever. Right, let's just mix this up. It's always a good idea once you've mixed it. You can just eat it straight away, but it's a good idea to leave it in the fridge for a couple of hours and let everything kind of melt together. Oh, speaking of which, actually, I've got something.
Oh, salt.
Bit of salt. Amazing how many people are frightened of salt, but if you don't put salt in your food, it doesn't taste of anything.
Or ketchup.
You just put ketchup on it. You know what? We should make ketchup one day. Who would like to see us make ketchup? Me and the child make ketchup. Put a comment ketchup if you want to see us make ketchup. So
Ketchup.
she goes to.
Chicken.
What are you babbling about, child? Good grief. Anyway, so there you go. You've heard the tale of her and a dog, and you've watched me make pico de gallo. Any other tales you'd like to regale us with, child? Or are you going to save them for another day?
I can save them from ketchup, can't I?
Anyway, there you go. So this was.
There's
What?
a squirrel outside.
Squirrel. Well, as long as it's not on my bird feeder. Little rat bags. Them and the magpies. I've got a bird feeder on the outside of the workshop. You probably heard the birds thumping around on it in the videos. But yeah, the squirrels and the magpies are little demons for it. But still. Anyway, there you go. So that's part of my dinner. Are you going to save any more stories for the potential ketchup video? Okay. So like I said, put ketchup if you want to see us make ketchup. Anyway, there you go. That'll do for today. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this foray into the mind of my child. And I'd like to thank my top tier patrons, Howard, Amy and Hawaii Clive O, for their continued support, and of course all my other patrons and channel members and all you lovely people at home. Don't forget we do have the gaming channel now as well. That's SteamGeezer Gaming, if you happen to want to come and watch me make an idiot of myself playing video games. And in any case, we will see you on the next video. Say goodbye, Katie.
Goodbye, Katie.
Alright folks, see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.